Today we are going to do a tool called habit energy. Habit energy is energy that we all have that actually is accumulated out of habit, and we use this energy to drive us in just a normal, regular, daily course of events. We have in the back of our mind decided that it's not worth spending much of our compute resources in our brains to think about little things, like for example, when I take a step, to look at where I step because there is nothing, no obstacle right here. Our mind has said, automate a lot of these actions and you would be more efficient. We do that in our daily life. For example, this is what I do in the morning, every morning, and I suspect each of you have a routine like this in your mornings. You know, our morning routine, my morning routine is absolutely predictable. You know, the toothpaste is in the same place. I hold it with the same hand. I go through my morning routines in the same order of events. It never changes. Now, should it? Well, why was it caused that order in the first place? It was probably because at some point in time I decided that was probably the most natural way to do things. Most of you, for example, you probably put your shoes on, one sock, one shoe, and then the other sock, other shoe, or maybe two socks first and then the two shoes then. But whatever you do it the same way every time. This is habit energy. It's habit energy in that your mind has decided that automating that process somehow relieves your mind the capacity to think about other things. Habit energy is great. Habit energy is great because it provides you that freedom, it provides the capacity for other uses, but habit energy has a cost. When circumstances have changed, when the situation has changed, long since the original plan had been created, now that particular plan doesn't serve your needs as well. You never think about it. You do it the same way. It now causes you to be wedded to that original way of doing it. In fact, the original way might have been fantastic and very useful at one time. But now, since you're so wedded to it, you don't even conceive of other ways of doing it. If you can become conscious of your habit energy, of every little thing, if you become conscious of your habit energy and ask the question, should I do it differently? You might find that your life actually takes a longer time just to do the normal things, but you will find that you have you will find a lot of things you do that are wasteful, that are not efficient, that you wonder, why am I doing it this way? This consciousness about habit energy makes you intentional about revising your habit energy periodically. As far-fetched as the example might be, let me give you this example that's a great example in human history. Back in the 15th century, the European explorers explored all over the world. They went to India and brought back spices. But their path for sailing to India, or for that matter anywhere, was always hug the coast. Hugging the coast allowed them to be near enough to the coast so that they could get back very quickly, and allowed them to traverse the waters with the comfort of the coast, either in sight or very nearly in sight. They allowed them to be far enough from the coast to get the sail and the power of the wind, but close enough to have comfort and safety. What did Columbus say? Christopher Columbus said, let's not hug the coast, let's travel perpendicular to the coast. We will get there faster. This was a concept that was very different. It isn't just that he said the world was round. People knew the world was round. People knew for some time before that the world was round, even though Christopher Columbus underestimated, because of his friend, friend's calculations underestimated the length of the voyage. But Christopher Columbus said, we don't have to hug the coast. When you start asking why we do a particular thing a particular way, and ask what would happen if you do it a different way, you question habit energy. And all of a sudden, your mind wanders into a land that is very different than the one you have lived in. Habit energy. We all do things the same way over and over again. Habit energy is a random set of actions that create a deterministic world. A deterministic world created out of a random set of actions. Habit energy. Examine your habit energy periodically.